It was a dark and stormy night. A young couple, Jake and Lisa, were driving along a winding road in the countryside. They had just left a party at their friend's house and were heading back to their hotel. They were laughing and chatting, unaware of the danger that lurked ahead. Suddenly a flash of lightning illuminated the road, and they saw a figure standing in the middle of the lane. Jake slammed on the brakes, but it was too late. The car hit the person with a loud thud and skidded to a halt. Oh my God, what have you done?" Lisa screamed, clutching Jake's arm. Stay calm. Let me check on him," Jake said, opening the door and getting out of the car. He walked over to the body, lying motionless on the wet pavement. He bent down and felt for a pulse. There was none. "He's dead," Jake said, his voice trembling. "Who is he? Do you know him?" Lisa asked, getting out of the car and joining Jake. "No, I've never seen him before. He looks like a homeless man. Maybe he was trying to hitchhike or something," Jake said, looking at the man's ragged clothes and dirty face. "What do we do now? We have to call the police," Lisa said, reaching for her phone. Wait, think about it. We don't have any witnesses. We don't have any proof that it was an accident. They might think we did it on purpose. They might arrest us," Jake said, panicking. "But we can't just leave him here. That's wrong. That's a crime," Lisa said, horrified. "Look, there's a house up there on the hill. Maybe someone lives there. Maybe they can help us." "Come on, let's go," Jake said, grabbing Lisa's hand and dragging her towards the car. They got in the car and drove up the hill, leaving the body behind. They reached the house, which looked old and abandoned. The windows were boarded up and the door was hanging from its hinges. The only sign of life was a faint light coming from one of the rooms upstairs. "Are you sure this is a good idea?" Lisa asked, feeling uneasy. "It's our only chance. Maybe they have a phone or something," Jake said, getting out of the car and knocking on the door. There was no answer. He knocked again, louder. "Hello, is anyone there? We need help," he shouted. Still no answer. "Maybe they're asleep or something," Lisa said. "Or maybe they're not home," Jake said. He pushed the door open and stepped inside. The house was dark and dusty, filled with cobwebs and broken furniture. A foul smell filled the air. "Hello?" Jake called out again. No reply. He turned on his phone's flashlight and looked around. He saw a staircase leading to the first floor. "Let's go upstairs. Maybe that's where the light is coming from," he said to Lisa. They walked up the stairs, creaking with every step. They reached the first floor and saw a door at the end of the hall. It was slightly ajar, and light was seeping through it. They approached the door and cautiously peeked inside. They saw a room with a bed, a dresser, a closet, and a window. On the bed was a woman, lying on her back with her eyes wide open. She was pale and thin, with long black hair and blood-stained lips. She was holding a knife in her hand. She was dead. Lisa gasped and covered her mouth with her hand. "Oh my God," she whispered. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. "Who is she?" he asked. "I don't know," Lisa said. They heard a noise behind them. They turned around and saw another woman standing in the doorway. She looked like an older version of the woman on the bed, with grey hair and wrinkles. She was wearing a white dress stained with blood. She had a crazed look in her eyes and a smile on her face. She was holding a knife in her hand. She was alive. "Hello there," she said in a sweet voice. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Jake asked, backing away from her. "I'm her mother," she said, pointing at the woman on the bed. "Her mother? What happened to her?" Lisa asked, terrified. "She killed herself," the woman said calmly. "Why?" Jake asked. Because she loved him too much, the woman said, pointing at Jake. What? Who are you talking about? Jake asked, confused. She moved closer to them, raising her knife. I'm talking about you, my dear. You see, she was obsessed with you. She saw you at the party and followed you here. She wanted to be with you, but you didn't notice her. You didn't love her. You loved her, she said, pointing at Lisa. That's not true. We don't even know her. We've never seen her before, Jake said, trying to reason with her. Oh, but you have. You just don't remember. She was your first love, your childhood sweetheart. You grew up together in this house. You promised to marry her someday, but then you left her. You moved away and forgot about her. You broke her heart, the woman said, sounding angry. That's impossible. We've never lived here. We're from the city. We're tourists, Lisa said, shaking her head. The woman laughed. You're lying. You're lying to yourself and to her. You can't deny your past. You can't escape your destiny. You belong to her, and she belongs to you. And I'm here to make sure that happens, she said, lunging at them with her knife. They screamed and ran away from her, dodging her attacks. They ran down the stairs and towards the front door, hoping to get out of the house. But the door was locked. They tried to open it, but it wouldn't budge. They looked for another way out, but all the windows were boarded up, and all the other doors were locked too. They were trapped. They heard the woman's footsteps coming down the stairs. They looked around for a weapon or a hiding place, but there was none. They were doomed. The woman reached the bottom of the stairs and saw them. She smiled and raised her knife. Time to die, she said as she charged at them.